Well, hello everyone. Today is day 20 of our countdown to Christmas. It's getting so close, you guys. So, today, I was having a little problem getting moving, and that made me decide to do things a little different today. So, instead of you watching me struggle through a pattern, because, you know, not all free patterns are what they're cut out to be. I just made my item off camera, and I'm going to share it with you and share the link. But I also wanted to go over the other things I've been making this week, because I'm still having to make a few things for January 3rd. So let's review what we've made in this week's countdown. So there's just a couple. Everybody remembers Tuxedo Sam. This is a Rin Meow pattern. For the most part, the pattern was pretty straightforward. It did not give assembly instructions, so you had to go off the main picture. But I didn't have a lot of problems with that. She had a really cool trick with keeping the patch centered. So if you need to know what that trick is, if you go over and check out that video, you can, if you haven't already seen it. If you've already seen it, you know what the trick is. So there's that one. Then there was this guy. Oh my gosh. It's so different and interesting looking, but the pattern was a nightmare. And this was just a couple days ago. It took me the longest time to decipher that pattern and figure out what in the world was going on. So basically, if you don't want to make things up as you go, I told you, run away from this one. So we had those two. Then the one that I would have shown you today, but didn't, is another free pattern off of Instagram, and I absolutely cannot pronounce the designer. They're from Norway, I believe. But this person has the cutest... Well, wait. We had one other test. Yesterday's test was the Octo on a Swing, and this one was the Crochet Professor. So I mentioned there'd be a couple of things that I would change, like the size of the swing on the bottom so that the legs would hang down a little more. But I really think, again, your favorite little octo pattern and a swing would work just fine. Unless you don't have a favorite, because, I mean, this one is a cool looking octo. I think his eyes need to be a little closer together so he doesn't look so mean. But that's just me. Let me see, what else did I have here? Yes, today's. So I can't pronounce the name. I believe the person is from Norway. But they posted this month the cutest little possum. Now, of course, I don't do too hot with faces. So it could need a little something on the face. But I did the first one in Parfait Chunky. And it is very tiny. So I wanted to see how it would come out using like Sweet Snuggles and the Home Slim. So it came out quite a bit bigger. So this is Parfait Chunky. And I used cream instead of white. That's why it looks off-colored. With a 5mm hook. And this is the Sweet Snuggles Light and Home Slim with a 6mm hook. So it's quite the size difference. The only issue I had was there was one round on the head that I just got totally confused on. And it was just me. It had absolutely nothing to do with the way the pattern was written. Nothing was missing. Everything was straightforward. Other than, I can't read. So I had to frog it out. I got like a few rows ahead and then had to go back and frog it out. Now, one thing I will say, after you do the increase round for the head, I had to adjust the beginning of my round by a couple of stitches. Otherwise, it was looking sideways instead of forward. But that's like me an attention thing, I'm sure. So, like if you see, this one kind of looks at a little bit of an angle. And this one is looking more straight ahead because this one I did first. And then, so I was aware of my tension issue and it shifting the head for the second one. But this one would have been today's video had I like gotten motivated and all that. I just was not motivated. So the little guy's face is cuter than the big guy, I think. So I might have to like redo his nose, and I mean there's nothing I can do about the eyes, but I could redo the nose and the mouth to make this one look a little cuter, because his face does look much cuter than this one, I think. Anyhow, that was that. So I also this week got to do a pattern test, and I did it first thing Monday morning, or was it Sunday morning? It was Monday morning because the market was 2 days, and I was just so exhausted. I fell asleep early Sunday night, and I woke up really early Monday morning. So like 4:30 in the morning, I'm up doing this pattern test, and I had the pleasure of testing Stacy's from Stacy Makes, her Rowdy the chicken pattern. There's, it comes in a package of 3. There's a pigeon, a penguin, and a rooster. I called it a chicken, but it's a rooster. And I was selected to do the rooster. So we all had to stick to our assigned bird. We can make the others, but for her photos and stuff, the assigned bird and whatever yarn that you said you were going to use, because she kind of selected people so that she would have representation of the different types of yarns. So this is my Rowdy the Rooster, and he's got this nice shape to his butt. Like it actually looks like it's sitting, and it is all no-sew. You make your feet, you make your wings, the wattle and the beak separate, and then they get crocheted in as you do the rounds, and the comb is a surface crochet after the fact. So very simple pattern. And of course, with anything else, if you were doing bobble stitches for the arms or the feet or anything like that, you have to adjust due to tension and the yarn you're using and the hook size and all that good stuff. So I did have to play around, especially when it came to, you start at the bottom, the feet go in, everything's fine. And then when I got to the wings and stuff, I had to adjust to get it to come out. But that's with any pattern. But she did a great job writing this, and I think it's really cute. It's definitely more interesting than some other chicken patterns that are out there. So I like him. Now I use 16mm eyes, And I can't remember off the top of my head what the pattern said because, you know, that was several patterns ago. I can't remember if I used bigger or if I used smaller. I don't know, but I think it turned out pretty cute. So we have a rooster, and I might have to make a few more of these in different colors for January, just because, you know, they're just goofy looking, and a lot of people like goofy. So we have that. So then I started thinking, you know, I really, really, really need to be also making some stuff for January. There were certain things that I sold out of, like Myrtle the Turtle, and I sold quite a few loveys, so I need to restock some loveys. I think I have very few left. Over the last 3 or 4 markets, I've sold quite a few loveys, which, you know what, it really helps if you can put them on display, and then, you know, you get to sell something. Doesn't do you any good to leave them at home in the tote. So I worked on some turtles. Now, I did come across in my free pattern searches a free sea turtle pattern, which, you know, there's a ton of them out there. But this one looked a little different. Different in the way the head was made and attached. Also, it had different fins, and I did not do the different fin. I didn't care for the way it was. It was like you do 5 single crochets or whatever, and then you chain 1 and turn, and you're going to do an increase in each, and you don't close the circle or anything, and that's the fin. I made them, and I didn't like how they looked, so I did the normal fins. Now, this one does not have instruction for a tail, and the head is a little smaller than Myrtle the Turtle, but look at the neck. That's what caught my interest, was it actually has a neck. It's not just crocheted flat in there. So it's not one that you have to like pin the head back or anything, but it should have different fins. But like I said, I didn't care for those. And then after I made this, I was like, you know, I kind of like Myrtle the Turtle. This is probably about the same amount of rounds, maybe more, because I think there's more rounds to the belly. But I like the bigger head on Myrtle the Turtle. So this was the only one that I did with this one. But if you're interested in this turtle pattern with that type of a neck, it is a free one from the Friendly Red Fox on her blog. I don't know what I was looking for, but I ended up there. That happens to me a lot. I mean, it's not a bad pattern. I just happen to like Myrtle the Turtle better. So I got out Myrtle the Turtle and started with, first I took a look at the eyes that I had and what color discs I have, you know, the glitter discs, and that's what made me determine what colors I was going to use. So we started off with purples, and this is Sweet Snuggles Light and Home Slim, I think. But I had purple glitter eyes. I don't know if you can see that glitter. It looks dark. So I did the Myrtle the Turtle. I did change the way the tail's done. Like she has you crochet it separate and then crochet it in. But when I get down to the last 2 stitches, I just do a chain 3, turn, and in the second chain from hook, do a single crochet, then a double crochet, and then move over to the next stitch to get the proper stitch count. So we have 1 Myrtle the Turtle in purple, and then Then I did a green one. Now, I do add the spots to the head because, I don't know, I just think it gives it a little more character. Sometimes I put it on the fins, but I wasn't feeling like it, so the heads just got them. But then I did a green, and the darker green is like the agave green, and this lighter one, I think they call it baby green. But I don't know. I really, really like these two colors together. It looks really nice. And then I had the green glitter eyes to go with that. So that gave me 2. And then I had grabbed, I have the smallest amount of yellow left. So I had the yellow, and I was like, what am I going to put with the yellow? So I put mustard with it. Now, this is not my favorite, but the two colors look great together. And the eyes, I don't know if you can see that. It's kind of like a copper color, the glitter disc. I just thought it would go perfect with the mustard. So we have this one. Now, I did find a box of eyes that I had purchased. It came assorted from, I think it's like 14, 16s, 18s, and 20s. And they have the dome back. And I know I said I'm never going to use those things again. But these were ones that I absolutely could not get to snap into place because I did not have the proper tool. So I'm like, let me try it. And just the feel of the backs on these is so different from those bad ones that I got on Amazon. Like, even when you snap them in place with the tool, you actually hear it snap into place. It's not just like popping on there. So I'm not concerned about these eyes popping out. So I'm going to have to look that up and maybe order those again. I've used all the 18 millimeters now. And I still have some 20s, some 16s, and I believe it's 14 millimeter. But whatever brand they are, that's the kind I want to get, not the other kind if I get sinker eyes. So then I had some blue. I had a light blue, and then I had like a speckled blue. And I was going to put those two together, but then when I'm looking at them, I'm like, they really don't go. So I have a darker blue. I actually have 3 skeins of it. I don't know how, but I have 3 skeins of it. And I guess I don't use it very often because it's not that pretty of a blue. And it didn't go with the light blue. I'm like, what am I going to put with it? So I went with gray, which I have like maybe this long of a piece left now of the gray because I used it on that possum and on this. And I need more. But this one got silver glitter eyes. And I just think I like that. I like doing it that way. I need a place where, well, I could always just paint my own eyes. But if I'm going to use the glitter discs where I can sit there and say, these are the colors that I want. Instead of just getting what they give. So I got down to the last pair of eyes, and they were pink. And I'm like, what am I going to use with that? Because I don't have a light pink. I have a dark pink, but I don't have a light pink. And we went this route. I had one, a Myrtle the Turtle, this color, and it was one of the first ones that sold, but it got the pink glitter eyes, and I think it looks real sharp with it. And of course, they got the little spots on the head. So we made 5, and I would like to have more. 5 Myrtle the Turtles, and then 1 from the Friendly Red Fox. But I would like to make some more of these. I do enjoy making turtles. The last thing I made, I started making it last night, and I finished it today, and I was just moving slow. First off, it was using Big Twist Plush and the 7mm furls hook that I have, which is heavy, so my hands get tired quickly. And then I needed to use an 8mm, but one of the subscribers was so kind as to send me some hooks that she didn't use anymore. And in it was a Susan Bates 8mm. So Susan Bates hooks used to always be my go-to hook. And I've been away from them for so long. It was kind of interesting using that type of head on the hook. So with the Mama Made Minis Lovies, you do the head with a 7 and the bodies with an 8. And I haven't had an 8 that wasn't plastic that would glide through the yarn halfway decent for me. But that 8mm, I was able to do that. So I made a mini pepper pup. So this is Big Twist Plush. Big Twist Plush. Yeah, not Posh. I think it's Plush. And the little bit of white in it is just Bernat. And tried to give it a sleepy eye. Embroidered the nose. But I felt like this took forever for me to make it to last night and today. And it probably didn't. It just, like, I'm not in a rush. So I'm just taking my time and enjoying the process. So I have to go back on my lists where I wrote down what I sold and see what the other lovies were that sold. I know the cat sold, the goose, the chick, the possum. It seems like I've sold like 5 or 6. Oh, the cow. Definitely want to do another cow, but I'm not messing with that spot. I'll make my own spot somewhere on it, and I got so lost trying to make that cow last time. I remember that. So it might be one of those where I just do some, say if I was doing a black and white cow, I'd put some black in the face and the main part of the body being white, and then a spot on it somewhere, and then maybe like the hooves, the bottom of the hands and the feet, the arms and legs, whatever, you know, have the color change in that. Maybe. I don't know. But I'm not going to follow the color changes in the pattern because I did get very, very lost on it last time. And it's just because, you know, there's so many distractions I just couldn't do it. But I do like the feel of this. And it's like, I don't know, I just like the feel of this. And I can't do too many of them in a row because the hooks will mess with my hands. So I did one, so I'll probably wait a day or so and do another. Just pick out which one. And I think I bought the mini dinosaur and I haven't made it yet. So I might have to get that made. And see what happens with that. But that's it. That is what we did this week since Monday. So that's not too awful bad. I mean, considering we've been doing things differently with the countdown videos, which editing takes quite a bit of time. Because if we did it in real time, we'd be here for a while. So we have 6 turtles, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So 13 items. The one earless cat dude was a struggle. Other than that, they weren't bad. But I do like the turtles. And I do like the lovey. And I need some more. I don't know, I'm looking at my yarns over there, and some of them are the old style Bernat, which needs to get used up. I mean, I gave most of it away, most of my Bernat away, but there was still some left behind because she didn't pick all the colors, and I'm kind of glad I still had some left behind. But if I had to choose between Bernat or the big twist plush, I would pick the big twist. I like the feel of it. So, I mean, I have some colors, but not necessarily the right colors. And then, of course, I have the Premier Basics Chenille Brights. And I haven't tried a lovey with that. I know it's much thinner than this yarn, so it would probably be a little smaller. But that's okay. I don't mind it being a little smaller. And that I have quite a good selection of colors, but I would go through it real quick. And I already know that I don't want it in the loveys. I don't want them in Parfait Chunky or the Sweet Snuggles Light or Home Slim, because to me, this seems more kid-friendly, this type of yarn, than this soft yarn. Like, I think this will hold up better in the wash than this will, if that makes any sense at all. So, that's what we have for day 20 of our countdown to Christmas. And it's only a few more days left. You guys, are you ready? Are you ready for Christmas? What day is Christmas? Today's Friday, it's the 20th. Saturday's the 21st. Sunday's 22nd. Monday's the 23rd. Tuesday's the 24th. Okay, so Wednesday is Christmas. Wow. Just wow. I guess I better start wrapping the few things that I have. I don't want to be doing it on Christmas Eve. All right, you guys, I'm going to let you go, and I think I'm going to make something else, and maybe I might clean a little first and then make something else, because it's a wreck from these last markets. Everything is a wreck in here. I've gotten stuff out. I haven't put it away, and oh boy, it's a mess. All right, we will see you in the next video.